What is up, everyone? This is your main man Chukatron, right back in the booth, about to do another unboxing and review. Right now I'm going to be doing it on the Dinobot, Slug, and Daniel Witwicky figure. So this is the leader class version of Slag that we got. He's called Slug now. Yes, for us Transformers fans, he's always going to be Slag no matter what. So I had him for about a week and I wasn't able to do a review on him or take him out, but I'm glad I'm here with you. This past weekend I just ended up going to TFCon. If you guys haven't checked the video on that, go check it out on my page. I didn't do much of a haul. I got about 2 shirts, and I also ended up picking up the KBB Optimus Prime figure. I did a community post on my page there. This figure is awesome, definitely cool, and he scales really well in the War for Cybertron line. So that was the inside of the packaging, and this is how the actual figure looks. So if you go on my community page, you're gonna see I put more pics on it, and I did get to meet 2 guys which were really awesome. I got to meet Bert the Stormtrooper and Patriot Prime. Now if you guys have been living under a rock, you don't know who these guys are, but definitely check the channel out. Back to the figure now. We're gonna take a look at the figure. This figure is a leader class figure, guys. This thing is big. I didn't expect him to be this big, but yeah, he's pretty big. So taking a look at the packaging right now, we notice that he's nicely displayed. Now mine came with him looking up towards the sky, and I see right now he does come with the red head, and we do have some illustration right there with Daniel, and he's having fun right on Slag. If we notice them there is a illustration of his face and he's smiling, and there's a look at the front, there's a look at the side with the same illustration, and on the back we get the promo shots. We got him in the robot mode and in the Dinobot mode, so that looks really awesome. Let's tear this baby open. Alright guys, so I got my instrument of destruction right here, and this reminds me of a joke while I cut this open. What did the Puerto Rican knife say to the potato? I'm gonna cut you, papa. That's a stupid old joke, but whatever. Take this bad boy out. Yeah, oh man. So here's a look at Slag and Daniel in the inside packaging. We notice that it does look like he just comes with 1 gun there. Fortunately, we're not getting the sword, so hopefully I can get a third-party sword. There's a look at the front and the back. And here's a look at the inside of the box, which you can actually display as a diorama. It looks very similar to the Grimlock one that we got here. This is the background of the Judgment Pit, so it looks really good if you want to have your Slug displayed there. So here's a look at the figure outside of the packaging. First impressions are, man, he's a big figure. Second, he's not as tight as the Grimlock figure, but he's still really good. So there's a look at him on the front. There is a profile of him, and it, like I said before, looks very similar to the G1 toy. And on the back there, now for height comparison, I'm just going to pull in the Studio Series 86 Grimlock figure, just as you can see how big Slag is. So if we put them side by side, here's a look at the Studio Series Grimlock next to the Slag figure. Yeah, they're almost identical in height, so that's pretty cool. I didn't think he was going to be that big, but I'm kind of glad that he is leader size because the Dinobots were really big. Let's take a closer look at him. Now, looking at the head mold, I mean, it is a total great adaptation of the G1 toy. It looks very similar to the G1 toy. Now, the original toy had red eyes, and most people got the black face Slag, which I ended up having. And now I'm probably gonna paint my Slag right here black, maybe a glossy black, and I'll try to make it look like the G1 toy that I have. So looking at the back here, we notice that we don't have any paint. We just see the molded gray plastic there with some numbers right there. I'm not a fan of that. I'm probably going to end up painting that all gold as well. I noticed that there is some quality issues right here on the side there. I noticed that there's some splats of gold paint around there. They should have just painted the whole thing. I don't know why they did. The chest area there, we do have that nice bright Autobot logo, and I love that. Detailing throughout all of the chest area, the shoulder areas right there, that looks really awesome. Now this takes after the original G1 toy, which I love. We do have some black paint right here with some details right there on the lower part of the body. And at the side here, we do have a port, and it does have this part painted in a darker gunmetal gray. We have a lot of detailing right there on the arm. Look how awesome that looks, guys. On the back here, we have some detailing as well. Lower part of the leg here, we do have this molded marbleized light gray plastic, which looks awesome. It does have detail on the side right there. We do get some paint right there, some green paint and some blue paint, which looks really good. On the legs there, we notice they look awesome. I love the way the legs look here. Very clean, very crisp. We have a lot of detailing all around. And on the back here, we notice that we do have the kibble for the transformation. Now this is where the part where it gets a little flimsy, and I kind of, you know, not really liking this whole thing because Very similar to the G1 toy. This part was always flapping around and it was really annoying. And I do love it. Minus, you know, the panels being so flimsy. I kind of wish that this was pinned like the original toy, so everything could stay tight together, but this pretty much just floats around and it's very loose. I tried putting it in and it just seems to just come off. Other than that, I think it looks really good. I love it. So the articulation right now, pretty similar to all the Studio Series figures. They got now this section right here can actually pivot out like that. So this part of the mouth, and we can actually get that head to rotate all the way around 360 degrees. Not that you would want him looking into that cavity, but I mean, you can do it. This tilts up and down like so. Arms can spin around all the way 360 degrees. They can go out and in 90 degrees. It does have that bicep swivel joint right there. It has a double hinged elbow right there, so we can get it to go like that and back. The hands can rotate 360 degrees. Have that waist swivel joint, which goes around like that. Bam, 360 degrees. The legs can go out, all the way out. Jean-Claude Van Damme. They can go forward and back 180 degrees perfectly. It does have that thigh swivel joint. It does have a double jointed knee that can go back about that much and forward that much. And it does have that rocker right there. All right, guys, so taking a look at the first accessory. This is the first accessory he comes with. This is the blaster. Now, this is a stylized version of the G1 gun that he had. The next accessory up, we have the Daniel Witwicky figure. Now, this figure, I really wish they would have just gave us the sword as opposed to this figure. So he can't really do anything. His arms articulate. If you notice his arms there, he does have nice detail right there. The little gun, all this detail on the side. And on the back of the arm, he does have that booster. On the back of the figure, he does have these two boosters there. His heads can rotate around like that. They can't really move at this point right here. That pretty much stays like that. This can go inward like that. And it's just on that ball joint. His legs can go forward and back almost 180 degrees. His knees does not bend. And he does have these little sections right here. I'm guessing that they can actually plug into the side of Slag or Grimlock. So and for comparison's sakes, here I have them next to the original G1 Slag and the G2 Slags. These are from years ago and I love both of them. Here's a look at him with the display. Now, if you notice there, he's kind of really big and the backpack section kind of just pushes up against the back piece. You could have him on there, but there's a look at how he looks in it. All right, so it's on to the transformation time. So it's very similar to the original G1 toy. So I'm gonna start off with the hands. So you're gonna take the hands here and just rotate them around 180 degrees. And then what you're gonna do is just push them inside like that. Do the same thing to the other side. Next, what I'll do is I'll take the chest area here, open that like that. We notice that we do have some pieces right here in the cavity. So what you're gonna do is rotate this upward 90 degrees and that'll become the mouth. We notice that mouth section right there. And then what we'll do is we'll take the whole head section. We just lift that up like that. And then what we'll do is we'll rotate these shoulder sections inward. Now they do have like a hinge right there. So you kind of just fold those in. Fold the other side in like that. And you kind of just meet them right in the middle. So you want to fold them in all the way like that. Now the tricky part here is taking these parts of the plates and just folding them upward like I did earlier. Folding that in, and if we notice right in the center, once those are connected together, we just take that chest part and we just fold it in, locking those two panels in place. Well, that we're here, we're going to take these sections right here of the left and the right fins and just lock them into that section right there. So we have now a completed crest area. Since we're here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the arms and just rotate them down about 90 degrees, and you can pretty much see that we're almost done with the front section. Next, what I'll do is I'll take the lower section right here, rotate the waist 180 degrees like so. Then what I'll do is I'll take the tail and just extend that whole section out like that, because you want this out of the way. Then what you could do here on this part of the legs, you can fold this part outward like that. Take this whole section right here, rotate that 180 degrees so that it's outward, and then just take that section, lock it back up, repeat the same thing to the other side, rotate that outward like that, rotate this section 180 degrees outward, lock that out like so. Next, what I'll do is I'll take the whole leg section and I'll rotate that inward like that, so that that locks right into that place right there. Repeat the same thing on the other side. Take that whole section, rotate that inward, just that whole section just folds right in there like that. Next, what I'll do is I'll take this whole section, I'll put it all the way down so that it goes in here. Now there's two slots right here, one here and one there. You just want to lock them in so that they hug that section. And on the bottom here, you just tab that right on the feet like so. And once we do that, we can lock this section in like that. And we could just take these wing section and just fold them down and inward. Next up, what I'll do is I'll take this part right here, unfold that from this main section right there on the spinny, do another fold out, and that'll become the rear legs. Repeat the same thing on the other side. So we'll take this section right here that's sticking out, rotate that about 90 degrees, take this section, rotate it down 180 degrees, and that's pretty much the back legs. And then finally what we'll do is we'll take the blaster and we'll actually put that on the port right there on the bottom of the tail, and that is it. There he is in Dinobot form. Again, I mean, he looks awesome. There's a look at him on the front, on the side, and on the back. And for being a studio series, I know that this is supposed to be favored after the movie, but man, this has all the feelings, all the details that totally matches up with the G1 figure. So we're going to start off by taking a look at the face there. We notice that we do have this section right here. Now this I think is a molded plastic, this lighter color pearl. I'm probably going to change it to silver just to match the original G1 toy or to give it that vibe, and I'm probably going to paint these silver. So I might show you guys how it looks. If not, take a look at the Chukatron 1 channel on Instagram. I'll be posting up some pictures there. We notice that we do have this nice beautiful gold paint, and we can actually see it a whole lot better now. We have the Autobot logo looking really rad on the front. On the side there, man, that looks really good. Reminds me totally of the G1 toy. We have some details right there all around that we saw earlier, and we can see them a whole lot better now. We do have a porthole right here on the back. On the top, there's a top view of that. On the back here, we have some detailing. We see the tail looking all rad. I'm glad that they kept it, in this gold color. On the bottom here, we see what was left over on the feet. Now that kind of surprised me, the way it transformed, how this became the feet, because originally these were the points for the feet, but they kind of had that in the other mode. So the articulation points for this is pretty much the same thing. These can go around like that, and these can, kind of just swivel out like that if you want them to. The legs can go all the way around on the back, 360 degrees. They kind of have this double knee right there, so they can actually bend back like that. Due to the transformation, you can have them pivot forward, pivot like that. The tail can't move like that if you want it to, but it's really silly and it kind of disconnects the whole thing. The head can tilt a little bit up right there if you notice it. The mouth can open up, due to the transformation. Now this is really neat. If you open up the mouth right here, we notice that it does have this section covered. Now this is a panel that covers the head so that you won't notice that the head is in there and you can just notice that the mouth, and we do have a port right there that we can actually put some blast effects. So I'll put the blast effects on there. Stay tuned for the pictures, and yeah, that's pretty much it as far as articulation goes. And for comparison reasons, here I have the G1 and the G2 right next to him, and we can see how big he bulks up, and you can see totally how they got this figure. And this is all I've ever wanted from a Slug that was going to come out, is just to be a bigger version, a little bit better version of the originals. And I think that's a great idea. They didn't do too much with it, but you don't have to, because he is perfect the way he is. You don't have to have him doing all crazy things. I mean, it would be better, but really, I mean, the G1 toy was great. They just built upon what was already good and made it a little bit better. So if you made it to this section of the video, I want to say thank you for hanging in there. This figure is awesome, and in my opinion, he's reasonably priced. He's a big, bulky figure. Definitely a great update to a great character from the G1 line. Love it, and I definitely recommend it. Till next time, this is Chukatron signing out, saying peace, love, harmony, and God bless. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this video, chances are you'll enjoy another one. Hit the subscribe and notification bell for more Chukatron content.